Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Review. So I know I haven't reviewed TV shows for you guys in a while, so I just finished up watching a 10 episode series on Netflix called Another Life. And here's the question: can Katee Sackhoff all by herself save a mediocre TV show? The answer is almost. Now here's the thing, I have a love-hate relationship with Netflix because I think a lot of their movies range from Oscar-worthy, the absolute garbage, and their TV shows, for every House of Cards, Orange News Black, Stranger Things, The Crown, we get 4 or 5 shows like this. And this is created by a guy who I have no clue who created this series, and if he's probably just one of those guys that is glad that, oh yes, I finally got a Netflix series, I'm glad. And Katee Sackhoff, who looks like she'd rather be anywhere else, even though she must be glad to herself, okay, I'm back in a sci-fi series for you guys. But it's not the correct sci-fi series for her, folks. She plays Nico Breckenridge, and how would you like that name? And what do you know? A probe lands, basically is assigned to go after the alien life that we suspect is in the nearby system. Essentially, this series is a rival mixed with every other sci-fi show in the past so many years. And here's the thing, this show could easily fit on the Sci-Fi Channel. Of course, the first thing she does when assigned to this is sadly come to realize, oh yeah, is that my second in command, played by Tyler Hoechlin, is like, I don't want to be your second in command, I deserve this, you don't deserve it, you're too emotional, you don't know what you're doing. So basically, he mutinies. And he gets killed in the process of doing it. There are at least a good dozen or so people on this show that are so interchangeable on this ship. I mean, we have one character here that looks like Hurley without the depth of Lost. Let's just say that all the girls look good in their, their brasiers and panties. Our girl here on this series that is mad at the Nico character because the Tyler coaching character was her boyfriend. Basically, there's one guy here whose father happens to be the Defense Department guy and who clearly has eyes on the presidency. And then, of course, we have one very badass Latina who constantly swears a lot, and then she gets killed off in one of the more gruesome ways imaginable. We get a whole bunch of other characters that really, I could not literally tell these people apart. The only thing that I can actually fathom out this people is that, oh yes, one girl is sleeping with 2 different dudes and they have a threesome. Hey look, that gets the lines going, but hey look, that's not enough. This series is really boring. I mean, it's episodic in nature, but all the while we're going to try to get to this planet that we suspect has making way of alien contact. We do get a couple episodes of the week in this, one involving people being high on shrooms to a certain degree. We have the Katee Sackhoff character trapped in her own mind episode. We come to discover, oh yes, one person has a bug in their brain. And then, oh yes, we do eventually get to the arrival section of the series, in which, oh yes, her husband, who's played by a guy on Shameless, which I have never seen Shameless, and if you can tell me if Shameless is a good show, I'll definitely watch that. But he's like, I'm going to rival this thing, and then, trust me folks, Arrival is a better film. They have a kid together, and she's basically the cute rambunctious kid. He's one of those ineffective parents at times, you'd think to yourself. Apparently, he hooks up with a reporter whose only defining trait here is like, oh yes, I have 250 million followers and they deserve the truth. I mean, maybe the one interesting thing about this series is, oh yes, when things get broken, they stay broken, they have to be constantly repaired, and it takes a very long time to actually repair them. Because in Star Trek, things, all the obligatory sparks and wires go haywire, and all of a sudden, boom, they're repaired. Here it takes forever, because they're out in space, and space is a very dangerous place to be because you're in a metal can, and how basically, unlike Star Trek, in which, oh yes, it looks like a very comfortable place to be, this ship is basically, looks like the thing out of Alien. Also introduced to a hologram who apparently has feelings for the Katee Sackhoff character. Basically what the Doctor was on Star Trek Voyager, only much more advanced. With the hologram, are we supposed to sympathize with them? Because I really wasn't doing that all that much. Again, if you can't get any real action, you might as well have sex with a hologram. Again, this is 10 episodes long, and I just found myself thinking, could we hurry this up? because there are a couple of backstories or flashbacks and they're not interesting. I think, folks, I'm a personal believer that we would have to become an interplanetary species. But why is it that every time we have a sci-fi series and it involves aliens, they want to kill us? And oh yes, we do eventually make contact, and it's just sort of like, oh, I guess Netflix has some particular formula in how they renew their shows. And again, will I be crying spilled milk if this series is canceled? But it's on Netflix, and quite frankly, Sci-Fi canceled The Expanse, which still sticks in my craw. And trust me, folks, The Expanse is one of the best sci-fi shows that's out there right now. And it's going to go back on Amazon this fall. Check that series out instead. I truly come to believe that Netflix eventually in the near future is going to have to partner with someone because, hey look, Disney Plus is on the horizon and most people probably want to subscribe to Disney Plus to see if they actually have any bothering to do any good series. And again, Sackhoff deserves to be in more films here. She deserves a better series. I liked her in Longmire. You just see, Battlestar Galactica. So, folks, don't go bother watching Another Life here, folks. So, folks, Another Life, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.